Yesterday I was sitting in my living room and I heard this crash, and it was this rock. It was wrapped in a piece of paper, which was a note that said, "Get to work on your video, you lazy." Well, I immediately recognized it as a petrified squirrel's liver, so that was not... Wait a minute. This is a clam. Oh, this is an opalized clam, sent to me by Riley Gunn. He sent me this. It's 81 carats. It's got a dark base pattern. It's not a perfect shell, and because it's not a perfect shell, although for most people this would be a nice collectible, for an opal person, we've seen completely intact shells before and shells that have a lot more color. So this is suitable for cutting, and maybe we can find something here. This just in. Today's brides are turning to colorful gemstone rings rather than diamonds. Diamonds are boring. Marriage is boring, so why not spice it up a little bit? Opal makes a very exciting engagement ring, but rubies, sapphires, emeralds, tourmaline, and even black diamond are being sold to excited young women who convince their fiancés to buy them something stupid. Something really cool. The most famous colored gemstone engagement ring belongs to Kate Middleton, now wife of Prince William. The blue sapphire ring was previously owned by Princess Diana. Now, it's unknown to me what Princess Di would have thought about somebody else wearing it, but I kind of have an idea. If we look closely, we see a red and green color bar up here and a little bit right here and there. So these could be complete color bars, or those could be just tiny patches of color. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to first just go over the surface to see what we can see. Then we will go after one or more of those layers if that is possible. We'll go after them, but if I don't get anything, there's no sense boring you guys with it. It's okay to bore you guys, but then you turn the video off and go look at PewDiePie. That guy, I can get more viewers than him. He's only got 100 million. What I'm going to do is lightly grind the surface so that we can get a window into this thing to see where the colors are. From what I see now, I'm not expecting very much, but you never know. So let's get started. Just a light rub. Let's go a little bit deeper. Sometimes these things are solid opal, and sometimes the inside is filled with sand. Never possible to know without cutting it. Newsflash: opal has been discovered on Mars. The Los Alamos National Laboratory reports that this opal was found in the vicinity of the Shield volcano on Mars. And finally, we have conclusive evidence that there is intelligent life outside of Earth. And we know this because whatever type of creature they are that discovered this, well, they're opalholics, so they've got to be intelligent. In general, when you're grinding the side perpendicular to a color bar, it's okay to put a lot of pressure on it because the color bar goes in and you're just trying to see it. When you're going down onto a color bar, you have to be very careful that we don't grind through a thin layer. So I'm going to go to the edge to see what I can find here. So we're starting to expose something. Okay, everybody put on your thinking caps and let's analyze. We'll take a 2-minute pause of silence for everybody to analyze. We'll do that later. We see our original promising green layer there. This, we have two exciting things. We have this red color bar, and then above it, we have this one. This one extends all the way around to there, and so does this one. So, this stone needs work. Well, it looks like our green color bar is a flop. There's too much sand and we do have 2 good color bars left, one near the top, but we have to get through this thick layer of potch first. is fast forward, but this actually took quite a while to get down to this red bar. After long grinding, it revealed red and blue and beautiful colors, but the problem was you don't want to go too far, so I decided to put the stone aside. I couldn't help but notice that it does resemble an opal that I previously cut, actually during the cutting of Big Bad Opal, a video of mine. I do videos on YouTube occasionally, not often enough, so they tell me. You can see this one that we're working on at the top. You can see the one coming under, and the two merge down here. Wouldn't you know it, color bars mingling. It's like happy hour, only with no booze. Yet. I've ground the outside of this and I've figured it all out. This side is the green, which is pretty much unusable. But let's take this layer. Take my layer, please. This color bar is there, and this color bar is there. Now we follow them around. They start getting closer together. Well, it's breaking news from Australia. The world's first complete opalized dinosaur has been found in Lightning Ridge. The bones were actually found in 1986, but they didn't get around to figuring out what it was until recently. It took more time than it takes me to do a video, and that's a long time. The dinosaur is a type of iguanodon, and what is the new name? Well, can anybody guess? How about Opalsaurus? That makes sense, right? But no, the name is Fostoria. Fostoria. What the heck is a Fostoria? Well, it's actually named after a guy named Bob Foster, an opal miner in Lightning Ridge. So I guess that's a nice thing to do for Bob. Shouldn't I have a dinosaur named after me? I mean, Donadon? That sounds really good. Maybe the next one. They found more than 100 opalized bones, and they found out that this is the first herding dinosaur ever found in Australia. Now, Australia has a lot of other animals known to herd, like foxbats, kangaroos, and what about the platypus? Party of one. I'll remove this green layer, and then we can come down onto the number one color bar. And we'll just leave this one as is for the back of the stone. It's better than just potch. So a little refresher here. This is a stone that was originally a clam. On one side we have a green color bar, but it's really not working out too well. On the opposite side there's a red color bar, which is thin. It looks nice, but in the middle we have this color bar. We've got a good color bar, an okay color bar, and a bad color bar. I've drawn this line around the stone to show where I want to cut. I want to stay as close to the green bar as possible, although that'll leave a pretty thick layer of potch over the middle red bar, which is probably the money bar, so to speak. So, let's do it. This just in, it's finally October, and we all know that October is Opal month. Wait, this must be old Opal news. It must not be breaking. Well, don't watch this till October. You'll love it then, promise. You can see it poking through. This is too thin a color bar to learn very much with transillumination. I don't see it coming through. With very, very thin color bars, transillumination may not be very helpful. And this is the area where I'm hoping to get some color. I may have to bring this edge in. Well, I've brought in the edges on this, and the center of the stone is starting to show the colors that it has throughout. All I have is a little bit more shaping and polishing, and it's party time. So now that it's more narrow, I think I can go a little deeper, and maybe I can fill in all the spaces here. Not that it's not nice as it is, but I think it's got potential that's undiscovered. Well, the final stone impresses me. It's very, very beautiful. I had no idea that I would be able to take that tiny thin bar and actually get something out of it. I know I did that once in a video previously, but I thought that I lucked out. Now I know that I'm just extremely talented and, well, conceited. I'd say conceited, wouldn't you? No, I really didn't expect to get that layer intact. It's just beautiful. It's got every color. It's got a dominance of red, which is very good. And the back even has some color. I wouldn't wear it as a two-sided pendant, but because the back has some color, it's just a tiny bit better than one without. Well, we've reached the end of another action-packed episode. I have a couple of the projects that I mentioned at the end of my last video, if you can remember back that far, are still in the works. So hit all the buttons that you're supposed to hit, and, well, I guess that's all for now.